welcome back to North Cork to the North Bank. Plenty to get into tonight because Arsenal give us a favour to talk about again. So tonight I'm going to welcome Paul, Keith, and Daniel. Welcome, boys.
All right.
Hi, lads.
All right.
So we're going to look back at Arsenal's 3-2 defeat to Borussia Dortmund in the Emirates Cup. I want to get into the defensive problems because it's now 6 goals conceded in the last 2 games. All, like, if we're being realistic, they've been awful goals, except for probably one. Then we get into the transfer madness that's gone on this summer. So Martin Zubimendi now is being linked with Real Madrid. Gabriel Martinelli is linked with a move to Turkey. Then we have the story that broke today that Pedro Neto from Chelsea could be on Arsenal's radar. Gabriel Jesus, Reiss Nelson, Fabio Vieira could be all heading for the exit door. And then Arsenal are again being linked with Juventus star Kenan Yildiz. But first, we'll talk about Arsenal Dortmund. It's only a pre-season game, but are we actually worried? Who wants to take that one?
Oh, I mean, I'm not worried because at the end of the day, it is still pre-season. We're still missing our big boys as well. We've still got, we still got time. We've still got another couple of weeks before the start of the season to, tighten up at the back. But like I said, we are still missing the likes of, Yuri and Timber. We're still missing Saliba. We're still missing David Raya. It's like, from what we've seen from the last couple of games of pre-season, I don't think Kepa's got it. When you're making a halftime substitution, he's coming off. Melior's coming on just to get some minutes in him, but Melior came on in that second half, and you could see the difference straight away. I just don't think Kepa's got it to be our number 2. I think he's very prone to make mistakes. I don't think he's commanding at all in his box. I think he's very weak. I do think that he at the end of the day he is backup, but could we do better backup? Not only time could tell on that one.
Yeah, 100%. Kepa is from watching him in the flesh there last Wednesday. He was just flapping and couldn't catch a cold, blaming the defence for his mistakes. I think his confidence is kind of shattered, to be honest. He's just not the right fit for the Premier League, I don't think. I'd say La Liga, Serie A, whatever. He's just not physical enough, as Daniel said. He's too weak, he's too light, and at this age in his career, he's not going to bulk up. I'm just thinking of keepers that were weak when they were younger. Schmeichel when he was at Schmeichel Jr. when he was at Man City, he was very, very, very light keeper, but he progressed onto Leicester, and he was a big, strong, stocky man. And
So we had
the same.
Martinez for Arsenal when he was younger. It took him like 10 years before he got a proper senior game because he was so bad at the start. Now he's like the world's best goalkeeper.
Apparent world's best.
Yeah. Do you know?
Sure, how old is Kepa now? Is he in his 30s? Am I right in saying that? He's been around a while.
Yeah,
he would be
31, 32, I'd say.
Yes.
He was Chelsea's record signing for a keeper for a long time.
70 odd
million. It's still the record, obviously, for a goalkeeper, isn't it? Or record, I think
so. Yeah.
Yeah, which is madness.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about results or any of that kind of stuff when they're playing friendlies. They're just glorified doggies, really. You get your 30 minutes into each player. You see what guys are doing, all right. See what state they come back from international breaks and so forth. I mean, you look at your man now, Christian Solis didn't play any World Cup, and he seems a little ahead of the others at the moment and is standing up because of that. In terms of the defence, it looks a bit ropey, but the only concern is that we won't have Saliba for a long time, but they look like they're making efforts to rectify that in the transfer window, and I wouldn't be surprised if we do sign someone, that's ready-made for the Premier League, like Cons and all that kind of crack. In terms of Kepa, look, he's just a bad goalkeeper now. He was fine at Bournemouth, absolutely fine. came in to do a job for number 2, and Meslier looks like a good fit for that role from what we've seen. You know, like he's had experience in the Premier League. He had 2 or 3 good seasons for Leeds before mistakes kind of in at pressure points got the better of him, and it took him out of the firing line for a bit. But I think there's a player there, and it's just a matter of him rediscovering that and us nurturing him. You know, we got him in for virtually nothing. If we can get a few games out of him this season, and you know, if he wants to stick around and he's happy to be number 2 at his age, great. If not, we'll flip him for a few quid. You know what I mean? Business.
Yeah, it was kind of a no-brainer deal, and we said it at the time when we signed him. It was a no-brainer because he was a free.
Yeah.
But like I know it's, you could say it's not concerning. Like, we're not worried about friendlies, but it's just a manner of the goals. Wasn't it? It was just, they were all awful mistakes and pretty poor defending and goals we don't concede. Except, like, the only one I can say was, like, there's nothing to do was the second one against Betis. Your man scored a screamer, worldly, like, smacked into the top corner.
Yeah.
But besides that, the other ones were so, you cut them out. You know, like, are we seeing genuine defensive problems? I'm kind of, if you're looking at Calafiori was playing and he'd no World Cup. You know, and I'm looking at him saying, you know, he should be flying. Now, he looked decent, like, and as you said, Solis, I thought was excellent. I thought he played really well. For a new signing, you know, he looks like settled in really quickly because he is that bit ahead of the others. You know,
he looks like a guy now that thinks, right, Arsenal are exploring the opportunities to buy another player in my position. While that player was in here, put my hand up, make sure that there's going to be a battle for that spot, and I'm not going to be overlooked. They're not coming in like there's been plenty of guys we bought. Like, what was that guy Lucas from
Lucas Perez? Lucas Perez, isn't it?
Others, there was a young Brazilian lad there we bought a couple of years ago. He looked very good at the pre-season and had a couple of good games. I'd say this was 4 years ago. It was Europa League, and I think we turned him over. We sold him for a few quid. So, like, Solis is a good player. You know, he's not a punt in the same sense as those guys were, but like, he doesn't look like he's gonna just disappear. You know, it's nice to see. But as I said, I think it's like these are training sessions. You know, if we lost all 5 pre-season friendlies and made sure we got the 3 points against Coventry, that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, in terms of Calafiori, he played a pass in that game that basically they broke on us and scored the second goal. I think Gabriel, just back from holidays, he wouldn't have given the guy that much space when you're clued in. When you're playing for real, you're clued in. You're not letting that fella run at you and keep the distance. The distance was 5 meters at one point. Like, you know, like, any basic training any basic coaching is, you're never that far away from someone backing off, because he can go left, he can go right. You have to make him make the decision by getting closer. You know,
like you could see they hold back a little. They do hold back. You could see that because it is only pre-season.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? They hold back in tackles. They hold back in sprints. No, they're not going to bust the bollocks just to get there when they know it's pre-season. You know, so, like, I seen the interview with Gyökeres and they asked him about the Man City game. We're actually treating it like a friendly and all this, and he looked confused. Like, he was like, the friendly against Man City? No. He said, we want to win. So, you know, that shows, like, the messages are being sent out that they want to win. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's never friendly against Man City. You know, we've had some good battles against them in the past, and, you know, at the end of the day, yes, we are playing for, it is just the Community Shield, but, you know, you still want to win these games. You still want to beat Man City of all teams, like, you know, and prove that, you know, we have stepped out of their shadow, and just, you know, it's not a bad way to kick off the season. Then, you know, winning a trophy, you know, at the end of the day, it is a pre-season trophy, but trophy's a trophy. You know,
it's on your.
If it's up to be won, if it's up to be won, why not go and win it? Like,
it's the start of the season. That's what it is. That's what I always had the Charity Shield as anyway. It's more than a friendly, you know.
Yeah,
it's kind of the halfway house, isn't it? It's in between friendly and truly competitive. But as I said, if you win it, it goes on your honours list, and people talk about, oh, we have 56 trophies. Some of them are like the Charity Shield or the Community Shield, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah.
And that's the thing. It is actually a trophy. It is classified as a trophy, and people go, "Oh, it's only it's not. It is a competitive game." Do you know what I mean? Like if you get sent off in that, it does count. You score that, it does count. So that's stuff. So it does class as a competitive game. When I was watching the games, and I was looking, I was looking and saying midfield. We were getting ran through midfield, and I was looking. I was saying, you had Wanyeri in there with Miles Lewis Skelly and Havertz, and they were leaving Miles on his own. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They weren't, like, there was no protection there for him. He was getting done in midfield and he was exposed. But then I look and go, you have to remember, like, all of our midfielders aren't there. None of them were there. Only for Odegaard playing half an hour today, and he looked sharp, and like his passing was very good. He played some great balls in behind, that, which I expect to see from Odegaard now this season. He was releasing the ball early. He was getting players in behind. I think he put Havertz in twice, maybe Gyökeres in once or something like that. And that was only half an hour, and he looked decent enough for a player just having.
Maybe the pennies dropped, in the sense that we've just signed Bruno Guimaraes. We're going to lose one, but he's still going to be an extremely competitive midfield six, and he's not. His name is not necessarily on the starting lineup right now, is it? Is it for certain? I don't know. No,
we don't know.
But they're your teammates, but they're also competing for your spot. So you have to be on it, like.
But you can see that with the players that we've been linked to. I'd say like Morgan Rogers. There was no doubt we were in for him, and he's direct and powerful. Tassalis is more direct and more powerful than Trossard. As the kind of penny dropped a small bit with Arteta, right, we kind of need to be a bit more penetrative, a bit more faster, instead of the
more
slowing
direct.
down. More direct,
yeah.
More direct, and not long ball, like, but doing things faster,
Yeah, that's what I was saying when what's the name broke the other day. Like when Odegaard had the ball, and he was able to play it early for Havertz at the time, and he played it early for Gyökeres. He played early ball straight away. He was quick on it. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't holding it and going left or right. It was early ball in behind fullbacks and centre halves. Yeah. I don't know whether that's what they were looking to do now, because
that suits Gyökeres, that
absolutely. I thought, like, even Gyökeres, when he got the ball early, he was able to get into position, but use his body, and he got so many fouls. He got dragged all over the place by Dortmund, like, and I think that's suiting him more. Do you know what I mean? He likes that. He likes that early ball into channels. He runs in. He's a great runner in behind. And if we can get more speed and legs behind him, I think that's what he wants.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll go to the right side of Arsenal's defence. This is probably the one I spend the most time on. Yuri Timber is still weeks away, according to Arteta. After he had groin surgery, as we know, over the summer, as we know, and then Saliba, as we know, he's unavailable with his back. So Arsenal looking to recruit, and we just spoke about there a while ago. Ezra Konsa, would you spend 50-60 million on him?
I would. Yeah, probably. I don't think there's anyone else on the market you're looking at to get for a cheap price. Now, the other name we're seeing thrown around a lot is Romero from Spurs, and no. Now, if we could get another Sol Campbell, that would be great. But from what we see from Romero, he's reckless.
Take that out of your head anyway. Take Romero out of your head.
Absolutely.
That's him. That's him angling the move, not Arsenal looking for him. That's him angling the move to go up to Arsenal. That's different. What I'm saying is, Konsa, would you pay the money for Konsa?
I would. Yeah, I think Prem proven defender, English, best friends with Saka. Not hard, it would be right back or centre back. Good for depth.
But I think
Yeah.
that's what, like, where Arteta looks. Can he play right back? He looks at the player. Can he play different positions? He doesn't go. You can play one position. Most players he buys are not locked to one position. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
It's versatility.
And as well, if you do buy Konza and, you know, Timber is there and Ben White,
Ben
and
White.
hopefully Timber comes back, you know, at some point and gets up to speed and whatever, it allows you then, you'd have those 3 right back options. It allows you depth first, but maybe if someone wants to be moved on in January, say Ben White becomes surplus to requirements, if you know what I mean, he's not getting game time, you have your right back option then as well. So you're covering yourself for the possible sale too, maybe in January, maybe the year after, you know what I mean? So that is a way to think of it as well, isn't like it's forward planning. It's not just, look, I don't know, would we have done it if Saliba wasn't going to be out till January, really? That's the time frame, isn't it? I don't think so, but when you're forced to do it, do what's, you know, what covers most things. Bring a plan forward, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like we were talking earlier about the guys in that friendly there, and they're playing at 3/4 pace, half pace, and whatever. And the fellas just in the door are playing to prove that they're in the team. The other guys are minding themselves for games ahead, but there's also lads who are minding themselves because football is a funny old business. You win Arsenal player 1 minute, and someone just makes a mad bid and takes you away. You know what I mean? And you need to be ready to be gone as well in the summer. Like, so yeah, it's crazy.
Like, can we rely on Ben White physically for a season?
No, he's still wearing his band.
No.
He's strapping his knee, you know. So
yeah,
still there. That bandage is still there. So
I think
like,
Cons is the one anyway. I can't see any other. There's no other ones other than the Romero or Brian that no one wants anyway. You know. But,
no, I don't think any Arsenal fan wants him with their club.
It would be go for shits and giggles for about 20 minutes, and then after that you're stuck with him.
And he gets sent off.
What are we going to do now?
2 minutes. Like, how big of a loss is Timber?
Massive.
Yeah. Massive. Champions League. If he was there for the Champions League fully fit, would you be more confident? Would you have been more confident that we would have won it? 100%.
I would.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we discussed this previously. It was the goal that they got, the penalty, came down from having no right back. I would have been, even Ben White wouldn't have got done like Mosquera did. And that was no reflection on Mosquera. He was fine up until then. He had a good game, but like it was just that.
Who he was playing against, wasn't it?
He's playing against, but also that's not his. I know we're talking about versatility and stuff like that, but a guy that plays out there all the time sees that move, and a guy that plays there sometimes misses that move, you know. And that was it.
Yeah.
And then like he fouled him in the box rather than like short pull long before he gets in the box, and you know what I mean. So yeah.
He was a centre back playing right back, you know.
Yeah.
It's for a centre back playing right back. It's different because a full back plays like up against a winger. It's a different. You have different body shape, body
Centre of
movement.
gravity.
You know, you're used to them going inside, outside, and making blights or making a run inside you but you'll get used to that playing there. But when you're a centre back and you have to come across and play there, yes, you can defend, but defend everything in front of you. But when it goes like he plays quick ball like that and slips it inside you, like they don't react as quick enough. It's different.
I played full back, and your body shape was meant to be always inside of the man to send him down the line, unless you had he was coming in and you had a centre half near you. Then you would shape to send him into the centre half, and you'd close him up. You know what I mean?
You said send him into traffic. Send him into traffic. Send him in there, or else just like if you know he's right-footed and he wants to go, you body shape that way. Send him on his left foot. It's just different defending. It is.
Just touching on centre backs there, lads. Is there? We're stacked with hybrid left-siders. Like, what's stopping from Hincapie filling in for Saliba? Just in case Mascara was injured or was off form.
I think
is that an option? Like
it is an option, I think, because you can play there, but
it's never spoken. You know what I mean? So
the thing is, like, it goes towards the balance, and Arteta wants left-siders left side because they open their body up and playing the ball. Whereas if you have a left footer playing on the right side, when he's playing the ball on that right side, it's kind of different for him because he's left-footed. So I think that's what it would come down to. Now, could he play there? 100%. Absolutely, no problem.
Personally, I think Mascara will be the weakest out of, let's say Calafiori, Hincapia. You know, I just
he's
still
only
have
young as well.
I still have reservations about him because he's so young and so
Yeah.
raw. You know, but there's no
Look-
doubt he's quality. Like, but he has jumped up. Like I'd say Arteta in his thoughts was thinking, Jesus, this lad, no, we'll give him a couple of games this season. He kind of like Skiddy kind of skipped ahead of his progress schedule.
Yeah.
And Mascara definitely has anyway. But I just think I'm just unsure of him, to be honest. You know, I just have a gut feeling that and you're the same, lads. We need someone else there. There's no doubt about it.
It's a no-brainer. I think, like, if that was the case, would he not put Mascara right back and Ben White centre back?
Ben White's too light these days. His body
Yeah.
has changed. He's no longer a big muscular lad. He's like a full back now. You know,
Exactly.
But
He's
he's changed his physique to fit right back.
Like he's a lot leaner and stuff like that. So
exactly.
He's built, but
that's a like it can happen for maybe a game or 20 minutes towards the end of the match, whatever. But like not for any kind of length period now at this stage.
Yeah, I just think like having seen like Mascara has had the games at centre back now at right side, and Arteta was obviously using them to look at him, seeing how he was and stuff like that. Like there was a young fella come on from the other day, Mary Salmon, and he like I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah, well,
like, he's going to be a serious player.
That guy is going to be world class. He's just he's 16.
Could he be another option? You know, instead of going to the market, could we say, you know, give him a couple of minutes here and there, you know, see how he's like. You know, at the end of the day, you know, that's how you find out about these players. You know, nobody expected us to, you know, Miles last season and the season beforehand breaking into the team. You know, Saka when he first started off, you know, relatively unknown players, and then, you know, build them. You know, obviously he's still young, like, but you know, from what we've seen him in pre-season, you know, he is a bright spark. Even if he was to play, say, rotational games or, you know, games, you know, against lesser oppositions, you know, could it be an opportunity we could look at there?
I think we'll see him in the cups, you know, the lower cups. So he'd definitely be a league cup player. Maybe if we get the first couple of rounds of the FA Cup against lower league opposition, if we get drawn against them, I'd play him in those games too, to mine minutes and stuff. Like I do think he's going to be exceptionally good, really, really good. But right now he's
definitely hitting the gym anyway.
Yeah, he's tall, but he's not. It's a bit like the Ben White thing there. The body isn't there now, yes, but that's a development thing for him. That's not like a choice. Like Ben White chose to get to change his physique to be a fullback for speed and agility, whereas Manley Salmon's just not grown up yet. You know,
no, he's still a kid.
Still a kid.
He's 16. I mean,
16, 17 or something.
Was it 17 or 18 when he came over?
Yeah,
and he sent out on loan for a year. You know what I mean? So,
no, I do like him. I'm same as you, Paul. He looks like he's going to be a serious player when he in 2 years, 3 years time.
3 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
And we hot hose him, and then when it's time, Saliba goes to Real Madrid, and we have a fucking guy
ready-made, homemade replacement. Yeah. Right, so we're going to move on. Reports in Spain claim Real Madrid and Chelsea are interested in Martin Zubimendi, with Arsenal reportedly valuing him at €90 million. Would Arsenal consider selling him?
If we could make good money from him, then it's always an option to look at, because at the end of the day, you know, it's business. You know, nothing personal to the lad. You know, come over, win the Premier League. You know, Champions League finalist. But if the money's there for him, and like we're talking now, like if we can make a good profit on him, then I don't see why not. Like, you know,
100 million,
fantastic, or not even 100 million.
Next question.
I'd say 90. I'd say 90 is a good, nice, even number. I don't think he's a 100 million player.
If Real Madrid wants you, you're a 100 million player.
Yeah. I think Arsenal will be cute on this one. Like, I know Paul had actually said this. He wouldn't be surprised if he went back to Spain.
Yeah.
I
The
think
signs were there, lads. He was dropped from Miles Lewis Skelly at the end of the season. I mean, we can say he was tired and all this kind of stuff, but his performances had tailed off. People talk about the Premier League pace and all that kind of crack, and it's absolutely true. It's a fast, hard, physical league, but it's not like in Spain they don't play fast, hard, physical football as well. Like, you know,
no.
they do, but maybe not to that degree. But it's not, the drop off isn't like, you know, 50%. It's a couple of percentage points, and you know, he just didn't have it in the legs. And even when he went to the World Cup, he didn't play until the final, did he?
Yeah, I think he came on one other game,
on in extra time,
10 minutes or something.
You know,
He came on then in extra time or
Yeah.
in the World Cup. But that for me, that kind of is that something else outside? Is that a mental thing or something happened to him? You know, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But
we knew nothing about Trossard's personal situation for months.
Exactly.
So they're going to. My suspicion was that he was homesick. You know, some guys.
I think Arteta took him out of the team then to know, kind of that way.
Yeah.
You know, like, so does the Bruno Guimaraes signing suddenly make him slightly more expendable because they slapped the price tag on him? That means I think they're prepared to
value him.
Yeah. He's a World Cup winning midfielder that's highly regarded in Spain. Premier League winner. He did what he came to England to do, which is to win the title, get well paid, and it hasn't hurt his profile back home that the Real Madrid are looking at him. You know what I mean? And if it's, I think when you're saying 100 million, it's not going to hamper 100 million. But if, like, say it's 80 or 90 million, it's still, what do we pay for him? 65?
50, was it 52 or 51 or 52 or something like that?
51, 52 or something like that.
Was it euros or was it pound? That's the thing. So, like Arsenal said, it's 90 million euro, but it's like 77 million pound or something like that, or 78. So it's from 70 plus. So if Arsenal sold him, he would be our record sale.
Hey,
you know, it's something we always. Yeah, something we always spoke about is we're not great in America. So if this does come out and he does go, like, it's 70 million plus, or 70 million pound plus 90 million euros roughly, or whatever.
That could be reinvested in the summer, or like it could also be keep your powder dry till January to get a signing that we need. You know, like as the season goes, there may be a position that becomes apparent that needs rectifying due to injury or form and stuff like that, and we'd have the money there
in January
on the table. We're taking him from you. Let's go. You know,
like the next one then would be Galatasaray reportedly made an inquiry for Martinelli. Would we consider letting him leave if we found? But like we say, if we found a replacement, but would Salas then be his replacement? It's like
that's our replacement.
Yeah, do you know? So like, what would you accept for Martinelli price wise?
60.
I don't think it'll be that high. I think it'll be 50 plus.
Yeah, about 50, 60 million.
I don't think I don't know.
Yeah, sure. What was it? Bayern was in from in January, was it? 40 million, something like that?
Yeah, I think that's going to be the price. But like, I'd sell him for like a set of jerseys, corrugated iron footballs, the Tony Pasquarino one.
A slice of pizza at the Emirates.
But when you look at it,
lads, he was fantastic for us for years, and then the profile of the team changed. We were no longer like a team that guys came to play against and leave space. We became the top dogs, and everyone sat back and gave us no room to maneuver for him to use the skill set that got him the big contract at Arsenal in the first place. You know. So it's just the way things are. Mad about the player. He's Arsenal through and through, you know what I mean? Is it 7 years he's here? Bought him for peanuts.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Bought him for peanuts. And he's going to go on with like 40 million. I think it'll be 40 million because he does have a big contract. So there's the scale there. Like if he was on a lesser contract, people could pay us more to get him and he'd be getting a pay bump. But they'll pay us less and he'll keep his contract with Galatasaray.
Yeah.
He'll go over there at parity and we'd kind of meet in the middle, I think. Yeah. Galatasaray would be a good fit for him too. Yeah.
Yeah, like
They're a good team. Champions
so.
League, you know.
If you sell Martinelli, who replaces him, it brings us nicely onto Kenan Yildiz to Arsenal. Arsenal previously inquired about Juventus attacker, and his name is appearing again as Arsenal target. Juventus have been extremely resistant to selling, and reports suggest any deal could cost north of 85 million. Would Yildiz improve the starting 11? Is he better than Martinelli? So I'm going to leave Daniel on this one because he knows a lot about Kenan Yildiz.
From what I've seen anyway, he is quite an exceptional talent. He's only 21. Like Serie A under 23 player of the season last year. 20 goals and assists across Europe and in his league last year. He's a special player because he's tall, but he's like 6'1". But he's also quick and he's good with his feet. It's a very different profile to the likes of Vinny and Rogers, but again, he's direct. You could play him across the mid. You can play him in the middle. You can play him off the left. He's played a few games for Juventus up front. Kind of like a false nine, inside forward kind of type player. He's a really good player, and honestly, if we were to go out in the summer now, we missed out on Vinny, we missed out on Rogers. We could likely miss out on Barcola. He looks set to go to Liverpool. I think splash the cash, go get Yildiz. Because from what I'm reading as well, it looks that Juventus will have to sell him at some point because they're looking at some UEFA financial regulations. So if they sell him now, they could get a good price for him, or else if they wait another season or two, that price could plummet. I remember he wanted to leave in January, but Juventus did tie him down to a contract. But he's still, the ambition's there. He's only 21. And I feel like if we were to go out in the window now and pick up someone, it would be him. I remember saying in the last podcast, I've been saying it since January. If there's one player to sign, it would be him, because I think not only is he someone who could improve our starting lineup now, he's young, so we could build him and mold him to, the sky is the limit for him. And from what I've seen from Juventus fans, from a couple of fans I've watched on YouTube who are Juventus fans, they rate him highly, and especially last season in the Champions League, he had the most successful dribbles, and the only player who had completed more dribbles in the Champions League last season was Lamine Yamal. So it's dangerous for someone who's that tall to be good with his feet the way he is.
Okay.
I hope. Look, if he's good, he's good. But when I've seen him, he looks like he looks like a Chelsea player to me. He looks like one of those boys that Chelsea buy, not us. You know what I mean? This is kind of sad then too, isn't it? This is just a broader football kind of point now that Juventus are a selling club now. You know what I mean?
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, I think this is a club that's just steeped in history, loads of Scudettos, everything. They were the ones that paid a fortune for Ronaldo at that time and everything. You know what I mean? And now they're it's kind of middling, if you know what I mean. They're not challenging for the titles at home, and it's just
They have a drop off, all right, even now.
it's been a massive drop off. They're a kind of wilderness club at the moment. No, don't get me wrong, they were fucking caught for cheating years ago, all that kind of crack,
But the thing is, they came back from that. They were relegated down and everything.
They were
a few players that they came back up.
Yeah.
But I remember the players they had before,
Sick.
fucking hell.
Zidane.
Del Piero, Zidane, Platini played for them.
Yeah.
Davids played for them. They had unbelievable defenders.
Yeah.
I mean, you go even more modern. You had Bonucci, Berzagli, and Chiellini, three up there is the most best Italian defenders,
And you had Buffon and goal and everything, But look, if they're looking to sell him, we want to buy him. If he's decent, Arsenal do a deal for him. But is this sound like another Arsenal oh, that sounds like a brilliant one, and then it actually never happens. That's my kind of thing. I get that small little feeling that like we're we're ready to sign this fella, we're ready to sign that fella, and then nothing happens.
Yeah.
But I do feel like if we are to get him now, I think the thing is like that 85, 86 million price tag. I think that it very easily could reach up to 100, 120 million.
That's
because
euro,
like
I say. I think
euro,
that's euro,
yeah. But
So like 85 million is 100 euro, roughly.
Yeah.
So, but look, we're good. We'll get money back, as we said. Like maybe Martinelli, and then we got the story that we could be linked with Pedro Neto from Chelsea. They're like again going to Chelsea for another player. Like there is other players there, and that's my thing. Like I think he's a good player. I don't think he's Arsenal player. I really don't. I don't see him as an Arsenal player. That's my take, and I just don't see it. But I would like. I look at him and go, no, I really don't.
It's just it doesn't excite you.
No, it doesn't. No.
And you're looking at a price tag of about 70 million, and then
I think that's too much. And I'm looking
way
and going,
too much.
70 million for him. I just not a hope. I just like it wouldn't excite me. Like we were excited on obviously the Binny one that could have happened. We had a chance. We gave him a contract offer. He decided to stay at Real Madrid. Real Madrid, biggest club in the world. They gave him the offer. He said, "I'm not leaving." Perfect. That's fine. It's okay. But the fact that we were prepared to give that contract and go big on him, we kind of got our pants pulled down, and now we were exposed, so that we can go. Like we now, teams and clubs know that we can go. Okay, we can give you big money. But the players now know as well if we're coming up, yeah, like they can negotiate a bigger contract because we're going to give another player or this player,
Yeah, it's they look at us and see, Arsenal have money to spend. We could drive up the price here, and especially if we're buying from Chelsea, we could, say 70 million for Pedro Neto. They could say, hang on a second, we know you've money. We could say we want 90, we want 100 million. And then, you're looking at egregious prices for a player. I wouldn't even value it about 50 million. Yeah, a good player, but it's just, that's the problem, that clubs know we have money. They will drive up the price knowing that we can spend more.
I just don't want them.
That's always been the issue. Like with any top club, Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea, whoever you are, they all know you have money and you have money to spend. So like, that's not really the issue. Like we just don't want Pedro Neto because he's a Chelsea player. Really, that's what you're saying. That's the vibe I get. I think he's a good player. I'd take him if he's available at a good price, and he'd make us better. We were always interested in him before he went to Chelsea. He was lighting it up for Wolves, and then he got he has hamstrings made of glass, though, unfortunately. But
it goes back to Keith's point, and
that's it. I mean, he reminds me a bit like Walcott, and Walcott certainly was a good Arsenal player, and I think he'd fit into that. Like he's pace to burn, he can beat a man, and like we're talking about making the team more direct. He certainly does that, and then it's like plug and play. Like we'd have like the way we've been doing it last season, anyways. And football has been doing this for decades. It's not like we invented it. Is you take your wingers off first, but we're stacking the wings now with good players, guys that are not like the dregs coming on for 30 minutes. It's just like it's almost like as I said before, it's almost like the rugby. Like your pack tires them out, and then the big boys come on at the end to finish the game, and we seem to be doing that with the wings, which is a good sign. Like, I'd take it.
As Arteta calls them, the finishers.
Yeah, the finishers. I mean,
I'd
hate to think we went for Vinny. It didn't work out. I flagged going for Vinny months ago. Thought we had him. Really did. Thought we had him. It's like, this is done. This is done. Like, all the signs were there that it was going to go away. And Real Madrid, just whatever they did, however they saved face in terms of giving him the contract he wanted without breaking their wage structure, which was their issue, wasn't it? It was like, we're not giving you a signing on bonus. We'd never done that. And that's what I thought our in was, that they will not do that for anyone. But they obviously got around it in some respects. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they got around it some way, but
Yeah.
it was lovely couple of
lovely
weeks
while it
when we were
lasted.
dreaming.
Unfortunately,
Exactly.
I'm giving back the title of the Oracle. Sorry about that, Dan.
But you look
Yeah.
at it this way as well, is it's the fact that they said we won't go any higher, and then us Arsenal fans were looking at that going, okay, we can offer him whatever we want. Give Andrea Berta, give him a blank check and send him over to Spain and bring him home. But you find out then a couple of days later that they have upped their offer, and it's like, hang on, but you said you weren't going to do it. So they knew Arsenal were very serious about signing him, and they knew that we had the money to give him whatever he wanted. So it was a case of, right, either we have to up his contract and swallow our pride, or he's going to go. He's going to go to Arsenal and get what he wants. Like,
in all my time watching football, the modern game anyway, I've never seen Real Madrid lose a player that they didn't want to keep.
Yeah.
That was, so I thought they were I thought that they wanted to sell him, but were kind of giving it the sort of, no, we don't want him to go at all kind of thing, but they genuinely wanted to keep him, so, because that's what's happening.
Yeah.
But like even when Ronaldo went to Juventus, that was like, just, grand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because they had Vinny coming through that time, Vinny was being made to start in, like, so.
That's why they're the best club in the world, unfortunately.
Right, we'll move on to the others. Gabriel Jesus looks like being linked with Napoli, and actually are reportedly prepared to sell him, which is fine by me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Reiss Nelson is attracting interest from West Ham. Again, see you later. Fabio Vieira can also leave. You wouldn't think about keeping any of them. None of them are worth keeping, are they?
No.
Thank you for your service.
Exactly,
I do feel like if we let them go, could we look at getting upgrades? As we know, John's massive fan of Esposito. Could that be an opportunity to look at? But from what we're looking at there,
I think it was like 75 million or something they were looking at. That was the value or something. But
that's a bit steep.
I think John is such a fan base now online that even when he mentions things like that, things can get legs from that. You know what I mean?
Look, we're 1 week out from competitive football. Like Arsenal, like the lads were back. The Spanish and the English lads were back today and stuff like that. And you see the videos where Madueke was doing extra work and stuff like that. So he's looked like he wants to be hitting the ground running. Is he being told that, look, we know Saka's injured, you'll be starting those first few games, or something like that. Look, he looks in great shape, fairness to him, because the individual coaches are with them now, working on everything. So, like, even Declan Rice looked okay when he came back. He was smiling, he was happy. So the fact that he's back, Saka's back, David Ray is back, Marino is back, and you add in Gomares, then all of them straight into the squad. Like, we're going for Wednesday night. Like, are any of them going to get minutes Wednesday? Probably not. Gomares probably will. We don't know, but we'll see.
It's with Brazil, so he should be used.
Yeah, so he's actually, like, he was away, so he was back for pre-season with Newcastle before he joined us, obviously. So he was due to, like, I like him. I think we're gonna love him as an Arsenal player. So that's my take on him. And I just feel like we still need, if we can get a defender, like if we got Kanza, for example, and we had to say we sold Zubimendi and Martinelli, we brought in another attacker, just say Yildiz, for example, and then I'd be happy with the squad then. I'd be happy with that. Because you're covered nearly everywhere then, because most players can cover most
I think
positions.
if we didn't do anything else now, we've already improved the squad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were the champions last year. It's we've added two good signings, 3 to come Meslier, he possibly replaced Kepa, and that's pushed us on ahead again. Our competitors are doing things too, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be Cork. Yeah, but I still think we're still going to be the best team there. Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel the lads or the team are motivated. The manager's highly motivated. You can see that. Like he's like, I heard him say, I'm going to build a dynasty here. So when you hear those words, you're like, that tells me things like the way they're talking on the inside.
What's
They
the
just
story
wanna-
with his contract? Because that's the most important one.
Yeah, it is. He'll sign it. It'll be done soon. I think once the season starts, they'll have it done. You know, I say just kind of waiting on the transfer window to close and get all that shit out of the way. I won't be too concerned on him. Like Arsenal, if Arsenal are prepared to drop money on that, the players were looking at dropping money. The most important person to drop money on would be the manager. So I won't be concerned about him. You know, he'd be number one to look after. Like that's what I was saying. Like I was explaining to Daniel the other day when Wenger was collateral for the stadium, the new stadium at the time. I was saying he was the most valuable commodity Arsenal had, and that's why he was collateral. The manager, not a player, nothing else, no one else. The manager. So he had to sign 5-year contracts, 2 of them, I think, at the time. You know.
Football's fickle.
Yeah.
The greatest ever for a long time, you know, at Arsenal, and then suddenly there were like lads outside the stadium saying, "Get out of our club."
Yeah, it's the people that like they're not fans to me, man. You support the team no matter what. You know, you can't be telling like they were saying same about Arteta out. No,
I mean, I'm on record as saying I think Gyökeres is a shit, right?
I know you were. I heard you saying it. You said it's my best.
So I'm supporting until we sell him, and then I can tell you how I really feel about that fucking bag of crap.
Just like you told us about Cucurella that time.
God, I didn't know that argument before. It's just crap. You can't get him. He's very good on Tuesdays under the floodlights when it's raining and windy, and you know his mum is in the stadium and all that kind of guy. They're the kind of parameters we have to set for Gyökeres to play well. Fuck that. He needs to play well because he's a professional footballer and he's out in the pitch. Do something, man. Jeez. Nah, yeah, that's true. And I hope I'm eating massive humble pie and he goes and he scores 40 goals and has the greatest season in Arsenal history. I really do.
Or we'll see you in the Gyökeres jersey one day, Paul.
Yeah, the Swedish one. He'll wear the Sweden one with Gyökeres on the back of it.
I had the Malmo shirt actually. When I went up to the podcast, the night G guys went to the Guinness house. I had the Malmo shirt on underneath my Arsenal jersey in the Sugar Club. I was fucking roasting in there, you know what I mean? So I had to take the jumper off. And I'm standing there and I'm being looked at because I have this sky blue jersey and people from far away are thinking, that's a Man City kid, your man as well. And then I wrote down for my picture with Andrew Mangan and I told him, the missus gave me this. I had to wear it. It was on my jumper. And he goes, just think it's a picture, man. You know, I was like, cool. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Go all night. Pity about the game, the Real Betis game.
Yeah.
But
look, Betty's punished them the mistakes. Yeah. Betty's punished the mistakes they made in fairness and they did so. But look,
I didn't know
they were awful mistakes. But look, again, pre-season players that are playing should be playing.
I was in the Co in Dublin waiting for my brother, and he arrived. I think it was about 7:25, and kickoff was at 7:30. But it was delayed. I didn't tell him that because I just wanted to stay in the pub. He said, "Come on, we boat." And I said, "No, look, it's going to take 20 minutes. We may as well just sit here and watch the first half on the TV." And he goes, "All right." So, and I bought pints. He said, "Match is delayed." He said, "Yeah, but with pints, it's grand. We just watched that."
You kept buying pints.
He was playing in against us, and then I turned around and said, "Hayden Cappy has gone. Did he? All right, great." And we walked up anyway half time and went into the concourse and got another couple of beers and we started chatting. He was telling me stuff with kids and all that kind of stuff. And then it was like, we may as well go in there and see the game. We went in and we went up to up to our seats in the gods. It was ridiculous. We sat down and we looked over at the clock and it said 84 minutes had passed. And then we got a text from Keith said, "We're leaving there in the 85th minute because we want to meet traffic." So not sooner our asses touches yours and we were up again and leaving. Ridiculous. But it was good. We did leave.
So he was in a great mood for you.
We were calling to say, he said, "Go North, and we're like, oh, no clue where North is. And then see those pipes, those stacks there, go towards them. And like, we were going the wrong direction for about 10 minutes, and then we turned around and went the right direction. But it was a bit like earlier on the train, getting onto the train for Sandy Mount instead of Sandy Ford. Sure.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Completely oblivious.
Half an hour in the wrong direction.
Yeah, it was grand though. The two that were with us, Dylan and his mother, were like, somebody needs to tell this fella on the wrong way. You check your phones, lads. And the nice pub. I told you, I got like a bit of throw rotten about it. Right? It's quite a problem. And it was funny.
God.
That's all we did. We'll be there to have the crack. That's it, exactly. Sure, Jesus, if you can't have the crack when you're on the lash, you'll never have it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
I think that'll do us for another episode of North Cork to North Bank. Big thanks to all the lads for joining me tonight. Thank you, lads.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
And thanks as always for everyone listening. Let us know what you think. Are you worried after the Dortmund defeat? Should we sell Martinelli? Would you even entertain an offer for Zubimendi? Would Kenan Yildiz be deciding to take Arsenal up another level? You can find North Cork to North Bank on Spotify, YouTube, and anywhere you get your podcasts. Give us a follow, subscribe, and get your thoughts into the comments. We'll catch you on the next one.